Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, something we will never see in the MCU, and obviously Marvel Studios is moving past Kang in a very quick manner. Once a character who was supposed to be the next Thanos is going to be relegated to the Taka and Funaki of the Marvel Universe. That's a somewhat deep cut for you wrestling fans. So let's talk about how does Marvel Studios deal with the lack of Kang, and what do they do with him. You know, Marvel Studios is kind of fortunate with the whole Kang situation because nobody watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, so it's not like anybody knows what happens to Kang in that film and the ending scene with the Council of Kangs. So they're kind of lucky in that way because, yes, they were setting up Kang as a major threat, but also he hasn't appeared in like a major post-credit scene or something as big as an Avengers film like Thanos, where suddenly your back is against a wall. So all things considered, the Kang problem is a problem, but it's not really as big of a problem as, let's say, if they got to Age of Ultron and we already had multiple little teases, including Guardians teasing Thanos and him having a giant overarching thing, and then suddenly they got to drop Thanos. Well, the next Avengers film is going to be in some real trouble. They don't really got that with Kang. So how will Marvel Studios deal with Kang? That's the question everybody wants to know. I've been asked it multiple times. How do I think they're going to deal with it? And honestly, I think there's a simple out for them. And a part of this, before I get to it, is the fact that Kang made a bigger splash and was more interesting on the TV side of things with Loki. On the other side, on films, one appearance. So again, they're kind of safe in terms of stopping the whole Kang is the villain going forward. And now they legit got an easy way out of this. And here's how I think they will do it. Loki is sitting on the throne. He is looking all over every single timeline, keeping them all going, and none of them are being pruned unless they got an anchor being. But that's not important here, and obviously they can still be saved, as we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine. So the simple out, and this is just how I think they will do it, is you're going to give us a quick exposition. When Ant-Man shows up to warn everybody about Kang, being like, guys, you're not going to believe it. This guy called Kang, he's coming. He said if I defeat him, something worse is coming. I really feel that way. This is where, when Loki comes back into the picture with the TVA, and they will be back in the picture in at least Secret Wars, but maybe even Doomsday, this is where we get the revelation of God King Loki, king of the multiverse, and they just tell us, hey, Scott, yeah, I know you guys saw some stuff and this Kang problem. Once Loki won, he just started to get rid of all of them because they were a problem. But there has to be one left, and this one Kang, don't worry, he's on our side. Or she. And that's where you enter the whole, well, hey, maybe, just maybe, we introduce Iron Lad, or maybe it's Ironheart, because that's been a popular theory that she might be a variant of Kang in the MCU. And if you don't want any of that because you find it too confusing, guess what? You have Doctor Doom. When he shows up, somebody like Scott brings up Kang, being like, this isn't the guy I was worried about. And he's like, that guy? That jobber? Yeah, I took care of him on my conquest of the multiverse. Enter the Age of Doom. Done. Because again, people haven't seen Kang in multiple projects and he hasn't been built up. So the out is a quick exposition dump and move along. And I think a lot of people were overcomplicating it, looking at Marvel Studios to try to go in there and make a whole film about the death of Kang. They don't need to. They can simplify it. And you know how I know this? Because they were able to explain the simplicity of the anchor being in Deadpool and Wolverine in less than 30 seconds. So it's very doable with talented writers and talented directors, which they got.